Switching gears at 9:15, in just days, 23-year-old ultrarunner Max Polakovich will set out to run 400 miles. Yep, 400 miles in 8 days from Michigan's southern border all the way up to Mackinaw City. The mission, raise thousands for AYA Youth Collective, which is a Grand Rapids nonprofit helping young people face homelessness. Max is here now to share what's driving the challenge and how the community can get involved. And you kind of heard my exasperated sigh there.
Right.
400 miles is insane, but to do it in 8 days, I feel like what's the thought process here? What got you wanting to do this?
Yeah, so last year I started running and kind of fell face first into doing a 50-mile race.
Okay.
You just started running last year?
Yeah, March of 2024 is when I started running.
Okay.
Wow.
So fell face first into that, won a lottery to do a 50-mile race on 8 weeks notice. Said, why not double it? So we did a 100-miler in August. And after running the 100 miles, was kind of just sitting there all fall thinking, what's next? Had a couple things that I was potentially going to do, looking at an Ironman, and nothing really excited me. And sitting around bored the house one day, just kind of start to do some Googling, searching around, and nobody that I've seen has run across Michigan, at least the distance north to south or south to north. I was like, I could probably do that, let's try 50 a day. Talked to my coach, wanted to see what that training program might be like. Figured it was possible and kind of just dove headfirst into it. Said I was going to do it before I even had the route finalized, and now here we are, 3 days before we take off.
Yeah, talk about that route. So you're going to end up in Mackinaw City, but you're starting at the Michigan-Indiana border.
Yep.
Where at and where do you run through?
Yep, so about 5 miles south of New Buffalo-ish, there's a small town of Michiana.
Okay.
And we're starting right on the state line. I made sure there's a Pure Michigan sign that we can start next to.
Very nice.
We will go up the coast to around South Haven, cut a little bit east, and then we'll hit Grand Rapids, going up White Pine Trail, all 100 miles up to Cadillac.
Okay.
Get on the Mackinac Trail. Next big town, I guess, that we would hit is Petoskey.
Okay.
And then we get up to Mackinaw City.
Okay, wow.
How much are you running in a day? And then do you sleep?
Like trying to do the math in my head.
Do you take rain breaks? Tell me more about the process that's going to go into this run.
Yeah, so during the day, 50 miles on average.
Okay.
Some days it might feel good, get a couple extra. Some days might be tough, and we're going to be 45, 48, whatever. It's 6 a.m. start is my non-negotiable, and then ideally we're going to be done every day at 6 p.m.
Okay, so running for 12 hours.
12 hours is and then a little bit of braking. We have an RV and a tail car, so I'll be in the RV 3 times throughout that day. Eating some real meals, sitting down, taking a break if it's hot, then we'll get in there.
So we're looking at some of your Instagram videos here. This is part of your training process. You're running here with a Coors Light.
Yeah.
What's that about?
So that
Listen,
was.
if you can do it with that, you can do it peak endurance,
And
right?
also my second favorite is you got the donut in there
Yep.
too. So you've clearly been on the diet, right?
Yep. So the video of the beer, I coached my friend Jarrett Simpson. He's my buddy from college, and he wanted me to coach him for his marathon that he was doing in Pittsburgh. So he said he wanted to go sub 4. I was like, let's go, let's do it. It was the last run of my training program. So, some people were handing out some beers, and I figured let's have fun with it and just try to enjoy myself as I'm running, 120 miles a week, feeling horrible. So trying to celebrate that accomplishment. And then the donuts, that's one of our main sources of fuel. I'm trying to take in 7,000 calories a day. So you're not going to get there by eating ground beef and rice or a lot of healthy food.
No, you got
donuts, gushers, all the
and
things that my
whatnot.
mom told me I couldn't eat when I was a kid.
Yeah, I use that excuse pregnant right now, too.
Exactly.
You got to fuel the baby one way or
Exactly.
another, right? Now, you've said running has become a challenge of endurance, resilience, and purpose. How does this particular run reflect that?
Yeah, so the first part would really just be that training. I think a lot of people don't understand the training that goes into it. It's waking up every day at 5 a.m., everything in my body hurts. Nobody's there to see that I'm gonna run. It's self-accountability. So I have to wake up, I gotta get my body feeling okay, and then we get out the door. Obviously, it was cold this spring up until very recently, so it's 30, 35 degrees, windy, snowy, whatever it might be, and just getting out there and doing it. And it's gonna be that same mentality as we get further into the run, right? I'm only gonna feel worse as every day goes.
Right.
And again, I chose to do this. So it's making sure that I'm gonna stay resilient. I have a great crew with me to make sure that I can keep my head down and just keep moving forward.
Yeah, so we're looking at the AYA Youth Collective website right now. This is, I'm assuming, where people can go to donate to you. How did you get involved with AYA?
Yeah, so I found out about them through our marketing director at work, my cousin Megan. And really what struck out to me is for my career, I'm a mortgage lender, so I help people get into homes. and they have a really unique part of their nonprofit where they have 12 foster homes, and one side's a duplex, or it is a duplex. One side has kids in there, and the other side has a mentor in there. So that was the first thing that I really found out about them and thought that was great. Coming to work with them a little bit more, they have a drop-in center that helped about 800 kids last year coming through that are either homeless or very close to that. So it just felt like it really aligned in the stuff that I do day to day. And meeting with them and talking with them, they've been so great and helping me set that website up and wanting to work with me promote the cause that it really aligned as we started to move forward.
Yeah, can we pull that website back up one more time? Because at the very bottom of it, we can scroll down, it shows how much money you've raised, and it looks like you've raised nearly 20K. Are you trying to hit $50,000, and that's what you're going to donate to the cause here?
Yep, so all that money has already gone directly to AYA. We are hoping to hit 50, and I'm hoping we're going to get a big surge as I start running. You know, anyone can sit here for 3 months and say that they're going to go do something. And so I think once people start to see what we're doing, and you know the videos are coming out every day of how hard it actually is, I think that's going to inspire a lot of people to donate and really get with the cause after they see that it is going to be done and it's not just me talking about it for the last few months.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff.
Do you plan on like streaming or updating on social media so that people can follow along, and like maybe as you go you're going to get a little extra from people who've already donated?
Yep, so Instagram, I'll be posting a ton all throughout the day, you know, daily recaps as well as, you know, what's going through my mind. A lot of it might be a little bit dumb when I'm out there for sleep deprived on day 6, whatever it might be. It'll be funny, it'll be good. And then also hired Grand Rapids marketing company to do a full documentary on it. So after the run, we're gonna have about a 45-minute to an hour-long documentary, all the behind-the-scenes stuff, you know, involved with the crew, what was going on in the RV, really just showcasing the run.
Yeah, pretty cool. This is actually video from that company, and it looks like they've done a pretty good job, so I'm looking forward to seeing the finished product once you're all done with it. This is not the first large run that you've done. You've done a Grand Canyon run, right? How was that, and what did that entail? How does that prepare you for this?
Yeah, so that was a few months ago now when I was in Arizona. Heard about rim to rim to rim, where you go from the south rim of the Grand Canyon to the north and then back. It's kind of a challenge in the ultra running community, and my buddy had told me about it. He ended up not being able to do it, so I was like, I'm already in Arizona for a wedding, I might as well go out and run the Grand Canyon. And that was a great training because it's 45 miles, so super similar, just with a lot more elevation gain. And then, you know, the next day we're up running 10 miles.
Yeah.
So I know in the back of my head that I can do that. When my body's sore, I've learned how to continue to run and go forward after we have had big efforts on days.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure you know physically you can do it. It's probably more of a mental thing than anything else. When it comes to, you know, obviously running in Arizona, climatologically very different than what you're going to experience running here. What are some of the challenges and stuff that you expect to face throughout this run?
Yeah, so I know my body's going to break down, and just understanding that in the morning is going to be the worst when I have to get up and get going. Weather is, you know, that's up in the air right now. Last week it was
Talk to her about the weather.
We'll go over the, we can go over the forecast private. Anything you need, I'll provide you a personal forecast.
I mean, we'll see what that brings, right? This morning I was running, it was cold, and last week it got up to 90 degrees. So packing and making sure we have enough things there. And I think just overall, just the mental battle of it is going to be the hardest. It's going to be exciting at the beginning. You know, it's new. My Instagram's going to be blowing up. People are going to be texting me. Day 3, we go through Grand Rapids. I'll see my friends, my family. Okay, now it's day 4, day 5, day 6. You know, we're on White Pine Trail. We're kind of in less populated areas. It's all going to look the same for the most part. So getting over that boredom while my body still hurts, and just being able to stay in it and just continue to push forward.
Yeah, for me, like, my lungs are already hurting for you, like
know,
trying to do that. Can you talk about just how much it means to you to be able to, one, accomplish a huge goal, right? You're going to be running 400 miles over the course of several days here. But two, to be able to give back in the community that you live in. I mean, that's got to feel really big for you. Yeah,
it really does. And I felt called by God to do this. Running something that I've discovered I'm not the fastest, I'm not the strongest, but I'm very good at not quitting. And that I do consider that a talent of mine. And, you know, I was super blessed growing up. I have both my parents. You know, I went to a private school. I was able to go to college, all of these things. And these kids just don't have any of that. Some of these kids don't know where they're going to sleep at night, where their next meal is going to come from. So me being able to use one of my talents to help other people, and I can't quantify it, right? Like, I don't know who directly it's helping, but I understand that it's going to a great cause. So that's what's going to continue when, you know, motivation runs out. discipline might even run out for me, but knowing that I'm helping people and knowing that it's going to have a great impact, I think is what's going to push me forward when we get to the dreary days of 5, 6, 7, whatever it might be.
Yeah, absolutely. And having that drive, I think there's a lot of people who don't. And I mean, it's understandable. Everyone has different levels of passion about things, so that's incredible that you have that mindset. What about for somebody who is considering, you know, maybe even just training to run normally, not necessarily 400 miles? What advice would you give them?
You just got to start. If you would have told me a year ago that I would be doing this, I would call you crazy. I wouldn't believe you. You know, it doesn't seem real to me. And it's just starting. And when you do start, be all in.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you have to go out and run 100 miles in a week. All in for you might be, 5 miles, or even getting out there and just walking around the block. But when you do something, just fully commit to it and don't look down the road. Just every day try to get a little bit better, and then when you look back, you're going to be shocked at how far you can actually come when you do fully commit yourself to something.
Yeah, the only other question I have is what's in the playlist? What are you listening to when you're running there?
Right.
You gotta have a pretty upbeat playlist.
It's all over the place. It's anything from David Goggins' audiobook to Lord of the Rings soundtrack to Alanis Morissette. Like we're going everywhere.
Broad scope
That is
there.
a lot of things you just covered there. Well, very cool. One last time, when are you starting the run? How long is it going to last, and where can people donate to your cause?
Yep, so we are starting May 23rd at 6 a.m. at the border of Michigan and Indiana. Spot to donate to the cause is ayouth.org /Split the Mitten. If you look up Split the Mitten on Google, it'll pop up as well. And then if you want to follow along, it'll be on my Instagram. That's just my name, @Max Polakovich, and we'll be posting updates, donation updates, and all of that.
All right. Well, Max, we appreciate it. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Wow. Yeah. Stay motivated, stay hydrated, and just do it.
Yeah, keep us updated. Good luck, and wishing you a lot of sunshine, but not a lot of heat. Good balance.